Okay, it was a long filming day. Started really early and I actually flew the drone early too, just in case I had no time. All wrapped up for now though, and at least it's still sunlight outside. And with that in mind, what did I read today? It seems like the sky has this red tint to it when I'm looking up, and there are a lot of wildfires around the area, and with that, people are claiming there's drones flying around the areas where there shouldn't be any. This one here says, drone spotted near Mount Underwood wildfire prompts warning from BC Wildfire Service. The BC Wildfire Service is warning the public to keep drones far away from active wildfires after one was seen flying near the out-of-control Mount Underwood fire south of Port Alberni this week. The incident happened Tuesday when a drone was reported in the vicinity of the Mount Underwood wildfire, which has now grown to more than 2,100 hectares as of Wednesday morning. BCWS says flying a drone anywhere near a wildfire is extremely dangerous. And with that, they say the reason is because if they see a quote drone, then they're going to have to land all of their firefighting operations. And as well, they try to warn people that with the laws here, they could, for example, face up to a $100,000 fine and even a year in jail if they break the law. Kind of makes me think too. Remember that story the other day where in some places they're banning people from even hiking in wooded areas, and afterwards the reasoning was that it's not so much they think people will create a fire and so forth, but rather if a wildfire happened, then they wouldn't have the resources to go save the person. So how about here? Let's just pretend somebody was caught in the middle right now in some place. There's no help at all. Should they be allowed to, let's just say, use a drone to save the person's life, assuming the emergency workers have no resources to actually help them? I mean, you can argue all day, for example, saying they shouldn't fly here and there, but what if they could save a life because of the lack of, I guess, human resources? That's seriously something to think about in these situations, in my opinion. I think they should just make it really easy for people to register if they want to help out during those times, because it's one thing to see a drone, and it's another thing if it actually poses some kind of threat as well, because it's getting a little out of hand too, in my opinion, when people just claim they see a drone, let's just say it's 7 kilometers away from the wildfire, and then because of that they have to land everything. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion when you compare it to everything else. Obviously you shouldn't fly there to interfere with the operations and all that, but there has to be a little more common sense in my opinion. But with that, more police wanting to use drones from around the world. How about this one? This one says, to boost police response times, Huntington Beach looks to the skies. The Huntington Beach Police Department typically takes about 5 minutes to get to a crime scene or emergency situation. Drones will soon cut that time to 2 minutes or less. The department is expected to launch its Drone as a First Responder program on September 13th, officials said during a news conference and demonstration Tuesday at the Lake Street Fire Station. 3 Skydio X10 drones will be docked on rooftops at strategic locations around the city, including a location near the Bellaterra Outdoor Mall and one near City Hall, said Police Lieutenant Chris Nesmith. Nesmith, who manages the department's drone program, said each drone has a 2-mile radius. Eventually, the department hopes the whole city will be covered. Drones as a first responder programs have been launching statewide. Large cities such as New York, Chicago, and Oklahoma City have started similar programs. Drones as first responder programs have been launching statewide. Large cities such as New York, Chicago, and Oklahoma City have started similar programs, saying, quote, what we're going to be able to do for the officers on the ground is a huge thing. Nesmith said, you have no idea what you're driving into. This is going to give you a bird's eye view before you're even on the scene. The officers can watch on monitors while they're en route to the call. What's happening to get the call before they get there? Oh, what would you think of this? Especially with that thought of they want drones everywhere in the future. So basically more, I guess, policing and so forth. Again, for me, it's just one of those topics where they say it's too dangerous for kids and so forth to fly toys around certain places, even if it's like what, a 50-gram drone and so forth, yet all of a sudden it's okay for all these official drones to fly everywhere. But it is the way of the future, I suppose. And this seemed kind of random. I see a lot of rabbits around here, but apparently in Colorado there are these tentacle rabbits, or Frankenstein bunnies, I guess you could say, where it looks like there's literally a horn or something growing out of them, and people are saying stay away from the rabbits. So apparently they're infected with something called a show papilloma virus, and it's a virus causing horn-like or tentacle-shaped growths on their heads and faces. And the growths, known as papillomas are benign tumors resembling black quills, toothpicks, or horns, primarily affecting wild rabbits in the areas like Colorado. And it says the virus is spread through things like biting insects and fleas and ticks. And the condition is generally harmless to wild rabbits unless the growth interferes with eating or vision, and their immune systems typically clear the virus, causing growth to disappear. With that, they are discouraging people from trying to handle the rabbits themselves and bring them to like a veterinarian, for example, but that's kind of crazy overall. One of you also said it's your birthday today, so happy birthday. Actually, very late last night too, I caught an interesting looking moon. It kind of had this red effect to it, so I guess this is one of your guys' birthday. I'll show some extra clips and all that. Alright, see you guys later.